Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Successful Woman's Mindset TV show. My name is Galit Ventura-Rozen. I am co-founder of Everyday Woman, a professional speaker, a business expert, and broker owner of commercial professionals. One of the things I love doing more than anything with our new channel, Everyday Woman TV, is having women that are making a positive impact in the world, inspiring others. And this virtual world has given me the opportunity to connect with so many women I haven't even had a chance to meet in person. And Erica Latrice is one of those people. Welcome, Erica.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, and I love your background. It's so zen. You did
Thank
such a
you.
good job with that. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I love it. So I'm going to share a little bit about Erica, and then as we discuss our topic today, the mindset of an influencer, we'll get to learn a lot more about her. So stick around. Erica is on a mission to help you understand your purpose and live the life that God has created you to live, which I love that. She's been featured in the Huffington Post, Prevention Women's Day, and many other media outlets, empowering others to stop playing small and start living their dreams. She's a speaker, a published author, and has served as a media expert on platforms alongside some of the top producers in television, radio, print, media, worldwide. And I love that Erica's so passionate about what she does. And her soft spot is also women. We have that in common. We love, love, love. I know Erica also comes from a world like me in the past, mostly, and also currently, because a lot of us have our businesses still where it was very male focused. And it's so nice that someone like Erica as well is so interested in saying, hey, we got to show women how to be successful too. So welcome, welcome. Yay.
Yes. Thank you for the introduction. I always love, I say this to you, I just love your energy, your vibe. Like it's just so warm and welcoming.
I told Erica before we got started that this is the week where hearing that, first of all, always hearing that makes me feel so good because you don't always know what impact you're having on others from the outside because you're not in contact with everybody every day that's seeing you and watching you. So Erica saying this to me meant the world to me because this week I'm human. I'm like, what am I doing? Should I be doing this? Am I on the right path? And asking God for guidance. And what does he do? Brings me people like Erica that says, yes, yes, keep doing it, keep doing it. So Erica, let's jump right into your topic, the mindset of an influencer. Talk to us about that. And let's share with everybody listening and watching today how they can have the mindset of an influencer.
Yes. Well, I love the concept of the successful woman's mindset. And when I think about success, I know that many people reach to find that viral factor about themselves or how do I become this influencer? How can I create change? How can I lead an effective movement? And I come across that all the time because I work with women to turn their message into a movement and men as well. Not really a lot, but
I'm
what
the
I
same way,
find,
same way.
right? There's a mindset that goes along with that. And there are so many keys that I've seen just from myself, like making an impact, but also just observing like people that I deem successful, that have been mentors, clients that I've found to be the most successful ones. They just have an approach to their influence. And I really do believe there's an influencer mindset.
Oh, yes. And let's talk about the meaning of influencer because sometimes when people hear that, especially the younger generations, they immediately think of just somebody, and I don't mean just, but someone that's online and taking selfies all day long and posting about brands and not really what we're talking about, even though all of that is stuff that you and I do too. And there's nothing wrong with that. But let's talk about what your definition of an influencer is.
Yeah, so the Erica definition of influencer, I think that influencers are servants first. So a lot of times where people are looking for followers, I feel like influencers are servants and they create change and they build things that are worth following, but they do it by example and by just being go-givers, adding so much value that people can't help but want to get on board with what, with what they're sharing and what they're bringing to the forefront.
I love the way you explain that definition because I know that you're living that every day. So I would love for you to share with everybody watching and listening the kind of things that they themselves can be doing within their lives to be an influencer? And then the second piece is, let's talk about the characteristics of the mindset associated with that.
That's so good. So one of the things that I would think about to be an influencer, there are so many things. So you
I
might
know.
have to like pace me on this, but it's definitely beginning with the end in mind, as we hear a lot, like having a vision for it. One of the challenges I feel is that if you just go out because you want to just see growth, or you want, a big audience or something like that, but there's no real vision, there's no real idea for what you really want to see happen, there's no purpose behind it, you will find yourself day to day, from a practical standpoint, just going with the wind. Who has an opportunity today? What's going on today? So I do think one of the foundational practices that you want to implement is getting clear. For me, it's just getting into some prayer. How you talked about, like, God, show me, am I doing this wrong? What's going on? Get that clarity first before you start taking action down any path.
Yes. And that clarity sometimes is tough for people. They're like, what do you mean, Erica? Should I just sit at home and wait for a sign? Well, sometimes, but I would love to talk about the mindset piece of that. So that's really what an influencer is. That's really how those that are listening can recognize, hey, I'm someone that's out there making a positive impact, being an influencer. What kind of things, because as women, we question ourselves, we get imposter syndrome, we do should I be doing this? Am I on the right path? What kind of things can we share with the ladies about the mindset so they can be aligned with the purpose?
Ooh, that's so good. That is so good. Number one, like from a practical standpoint that I've learned, is go where you flow. I feel like so often we think that, to your point, we're sitting at home and just waiting, like it's something to fall out of the sky with instructions. But usually wherever we hear the like cliche, like bloom where you're planted, but it's so true, because sometimes if you, and I'll talk about this second mindset of comparison, but where we have access to so much information, you can find yourself just like going with whatever, oh, this person said selling soap is the key to success, or this person is posing on Instagram, and not really thinking within, like, where are you flowing? Where are you gifted at? What comes easy to you? What do you have access to right now? Because I believe you're never going to be required to do something. When I like speak, even like spiritually speaking, God's not going to require of you something that you don't have access to. Like, you can't take a step with what's not in your hand. So I always start there. Like, what do you have in your hands right now? And just embrace that and maximize it and treat it so amazing. Even if it's not where you ultimately want to be, like, take care of that thing like it is. I have so many stories around that, but just like bloom where you're planted. That's the first thing. And secondly, around the comparisons, I believe like we have to have tunnel vision, because even from a subconscious standpoint, I feel like when you're just consuming way too much information, you can start mimicking other people or duplicating what they're doing without realizing it. And there's a book called Deep Work. Shameless plug. It has nothing to do with me, Cal Newport. But I love that he
Who is
talks
the
about
author, Erica?
Cal Newport.
Cal Newport. Deep
Yes.
Work.
Deep Work.
Well, I love the title.
It's so good. The concept is about where most people are doing shallow work, where we're just breaking up our focus throughout the day, scrolling, checking email, and never getting into that place of depth where we really can start unpacking our gift and really start adding so much more value, not just to the marketplace, but to relationships, to life. And so I think the second thing is getting deep and getting off of that train of comparisons and looking at what everyone else is doing, because when you get into that deep place, that's when I believe like so much can be birthed out of you.
A lot of people get stuck here and they don't realize how much more there is down here, because this is safe, or this is what we're taught to do. We live in a society at times that really limits us. I think that our schooling, for example, Eric, I said the other day, I went to school to get my bachelor's degree in business, and I don't remember having one entrepreneur class, and I have a bachelor's in business. I went and I got my master's. I don't remember having one entrepreneur class. So I think that we have these limitations. So we have to make our own choices to go out and find that education and find those people, find those groups. Erica will tell you she has got some amazing groups as well, where women are supporting women and women are pushing women. I have so many women in our group that say, I told my family I wanted to start my own business, and they said, "Are you crazy? You're making six figures as a lawyer at this job. What is wrong with you? Why would you leave comfort for the unknown?" And family means well, but they want to protect you. They don't want you to fail. They want you to get hurt. And so I think a lot of what you're talking about, that deep work, is really the, what do I want? What do I see my life being like? What do I think that I want? And all of that relates to being an influencer, because then you turn around and you share that with other people and you teach them. And you make
Amen.
sure they follow a different path. So I love that you brought that up. I think it's such an important piece. And the mindset of an influencer for me is so much of everything that you shared and also what you embody. And I almost think we could have thrown in the word mindset of an entrepreneur, because I think it's kind of the same, right?
Yes,
I
a
think it is.
1000%. Yes.
Yeah. Well, tell everybody what you're working on right now and what you're up to, and share with everybody a little bit about how they can learn more about you and get involved.
Yes, well, I'm always working on something. I always think of everything from the standpoint of when I first started, what I wish I would have had access to or wish I would have known. So right now I have an Amplify Her amazing community. It's called Amplify Her, where I just provide like a lot of resources, free value just up front, because I feel like some of these things, it's just one small mindset shift that if we just, shifted that thing before you even take a leap to hire your first 5 to 7 coaches, like sometimes it's just getting that quick, well, not quick. I take that back. Definitely not overnight.
Not quick.
But
where can they find that, Erica?
So you can join at amplifyherlounge.com.
Perfect.
That's the best place to get started. Or you can connect with me across social media at Erica Empowers.
Beautiful. I love that. And if they're interested in learning more about working with you, or what kind of things are you doing right now to work with people that they might be interested to reach out to you?
Yes. Well, the best way to get started is through that lounge. And then from there, I usually offer, like right now, I don't have any openings, which is an exciting thing.
That's okay. They can get on your wait list.
Yeah, so you can definitely get on the wait list and just get into the community, the Amplifier Lounge community. And I do have events coming up. So throughout the year, we have the Born to Soar conference, which is always fun, bringing women together to soar. So so the best step is Amplifier Lounge right now.
I love that. I love that so much. And before we wrap up, I would love for you to share maybe 1 or 2 tips for anyone that's watching going, I really want to build a community like Erica has, because they're going to check out your website. They're going to learn about this amazing community. And it seems very overwhelming to someone, like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. How can I do that? Maybe, and I know it's not simple because I have one as well on Facebook, and it took a long time, but maybe just give them those 1 or 2 steps at the beginning so they can at least take that first leap to get started.
Yes. So I would assume that you're an entrepreneur if you're asking this question. So the biggest thing is, if you're building a community, is to know where it falls in your customer journey. So sometimes people will just create, and we get into our creative space, but there's no real purpose behind it. So get crystal clear on the role of that community and where it falls in their experience to work with you or wherever you're leading them to. And secondly, patience. I quote a client that I have who grew his audience to it's ridiculous. It's in the millions, his reach. But he told me he went 365 days. He was like, if nothing happens for the first 365 days, I'm still going to keep showing up, because maybe on day 366, something's going to happen. So just be consistent and patient. And I believe over time, you're either going to get feedback or growth. And then when you get feedback, it's going to lead to growth. So just stay consistent.
That's so true. And be aware of your audience, be aware of what people are looking for. The first thing Erica said is, I have all of these tools and all this information to get you started. So she's aware that her followers, those that want to learn from her and her own experience, are looking for this. So be aware. Sometimes we think we know what people want and we don't. Ask. I love putting questions up on social media and asking. hey, what is it that you want me to teach you next? What is it that you want me to put out next? What is it that you would want to join? Because those are the people that are watching you, and they are the ones that you want to attract. So I love that you said that. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with me today. I'm so excited to be reconnecting with you. I love that we met. It's been at least a few years. I know I spoke at one of your conferences. You also interviewed me as well. So it's fun to be able to kind of do this back and forth with each other. I appreciate your time and your expertise and sharing it with my audience today.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast.
Thank you, Erica. And everybody watching and listening, thank you so much for joining another episode of the Successful Woman's Mindset on Everyday Woman TV. Please make sure to check us out at everydaywoman.tv.com to watch all of our fabulous hosts. As of today, we are at 35 TV shows, and we are growing. Our goal is 100 women, 100 shows by the end of this year. We appreciate you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.